Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark. I'm your host. Today I'm speaking with Adam Sherry at Innovative Storage Systems in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Adam, thanks so much for being with us today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. So you guys have got an interesting business model, doing closets. Why don't you describe your business model? I think you can do better than I can.
So basically, I had another business, and 25 plus years ago, I built a fairly decent sized house. And back in the day, we used to watch MTV Cribs. So I wanted to pimp out my closet. So I called a national franchise called California Closets to come look at my closets, give me a quote. I loved the product, a little less than impressed with the price and the way they did business. I said, you know what? This stuff is very similar to what my guys are doing now with my other company. We used to install cubicles for office furniture dealers. I said, I bet you I could do this. One thing led to another. I ran into a guy who worked for California Closets. He told me what equipment to buy, what suppliers to use, basically gave me the business, structure on how the franchise ran theirs. And I set this up in my warehouse at the time as a part-time thing. One thing led to another. It kind of blew up. I bought a building for it in 2007. Now it's all I do. We basically go from our business model is measure you today, quote you tomorrow by email, and install you within a week. So most of the other companies in my industry tend to measure you today, pressure you today for the sale, and then install you 3 to 4 months later. So what
Wow.
I found is that we have a much higher closing ratio than they do. The home buyers today tend to be millennials and newer and stuff. They've had Google their entire life. They don't want to wait for anything. They're used to instant gratification. Well, you meet today, put your clothes away next Thursday in your new closet, or wait a couple of weeks for the California Closets girl to get out there or whoever, and install your closet a few months later. So we tend to be very, very well received.
Amazing. How are you guys able to offer so much faster service? I mean, these
So
guys are a big company. How do you guys do that?
we design, manufacture, and install our own product. I keep a 30-month supply of raw material in my shop and we make it. So what happens is there's a lot of standard parts that we pre-make. We tend to limit our colors on the quick turnaround time. We offer 5 colors, but 98.6% of what we do is white. White's very popular in the closet industry. It never goes out of style. It's really what you want to do. We've done, we did a $12 million house last week in white, so the ability to limit that. The problem I find in my industry is a lot of companies try to be everything to everybody. And what I try to do is a particular subset of what they do, but I do it well and fast. I said 25 years, I have nothing but 5-star reviews because I'm a very rare contractor. We do exactly what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it to your 100% satisfaction.
Yeah, I can see you guys are absolutely beloved by your customers. You guys have got a ton of 5-star reviews. So I'm interested in this. We've talked with all kinds of contractors and some whole house remodels. I mean, they do a whole big suite of products. But I talked with some builders or folks in this home services space that have really narrowed down on their niche, and I find that those companies often they're some of the best reviewed. They've got some of the most sort of referrals that I hear when talking with them. Can you just talk to the importance? I mean, you understand this well. You've been doing this for a long, long time of really finding your kind of lane and saying, look, this is what we're doing. We do this really well, and getting better and better at it over time and just staying there and not expanding out just because, you can or you've got more team.
Well, it all boils down to, sales. You have to sell what you do. It's too many people aren't what I would call, in Jersey quotes, true salespeople. You need to sell what you do. So many people will have a customer and they say, I want an olive closet, and not that there's anything wrong with olive closets, but I want an olive closet and this, that, and the other thing, and I want window treatments, and I want my kitchen and my bathroom vanities to match. And so we don't get into any of that. A lot of companies will do closets, and they'll do blinds, and they'll do kitchens and baths. So we stick to closets. We're very we're very centered on exactly what we do, and you have to be able to address the customer's needs, but explain why what you do is the best way and what they really should do over time. And the key is the benefit I have over a couple other companies are, hey, I have a 25-year track record. So, look, in 25 years, you won't find a bad review from anybody that's actually done business with us. I kind of know what I'm doing. It's a fine line. You got to be able to sell the customer without being too cocky. You want to give them what they want. A lot of times people will say to me, hey, I want this over here and not over there and this over there when we're laying out a closet. And I'll say, well, maybe you don't want to do it this way. Why? And I'll go in their closet and show them why they don't want it. This is going to block your view. This is going to be messy. This is the messier side of what you see. So when you walk in, you want your closet to be open and inviting. And if it's open and inviting and you can find your clothes, if you see it, you're going to wear it. If it's buried in a stack or a pile and it's in the back of the closet, it tends to just stay there. It's a fine line. And again, I'm comfortable enough in my own skin, and having been in the business for 25 plus years, I'm comfortable when I walk into somebody's house and say, well, this is the way you should do it, or this is what I would do if I were you in your position. But if you want me to do it the other way, I'll do it the other way, no problem. So
I love it.
It's a tightrope.
Fantastic. What type of savings are your customers able to get versus some of the larger kind of franchise competitors?
So like there's the two top tier competitors in my industry are California Closets. They're number one by far. They invented the business in 1977. Then Closets by Design came along. At Closets by Design, they consistently advertise 40% off, plus another 20% off or 15% off, plus free installation. Nobody in this business charges for installation, and they make up their own prices. So it's easy for me to sell you a $10,000 closet. If I say, oh, it lists for 30, I'm going to give you, 40 off and then another 20 and free installation. It's not real. And most of my customers, I'm in the metro New Jersey between Philadelphia and New York area. They're pretty savvy. They understand that those are made up numbers. I use the same MSRP, if you will, as California Closets. So, people are used to seeing a discount. So we typically discount 15 to 20%. We'll go larger on larger jobs. And then, I also work for builders where they get a little bit better discount. But the real selling point for me is measure you today, quote you tomorrow, install you within a week. A lot of times other companies can't even get people out to measure your closet in a week. So again, put your clothes away Thursday or wait. So it tends to be a very emotional purchase. People see us online and they're like, "Oh, I want that. My closet's been a mess." Or a lot of times we'll get, "My closet fell down last night at 2:00 in the morning. The metal wire shelving that the builder put in fell out of the wall because you had it overstuffed. Can you come fix this?" Well, we don't fix that, but I can sell you a closet system and I can get it done for you in a week. And they're like, "Oh, that's great." So that tends to be the way. But again, showing a discount people like, and the franchises, they buy in such great quantities and they have such enormous buying power that they can really discount a lot more than me, but they can and they can't. The problem is when you run a franchise, you're paying a 10% franchise fee every month to the franchise. You're paying your designer a 10% commission. A lot of them pay their installers by percentage, and usually that's a 12 to 15% of the job. So you have 32 to 35% of gross gone before you're taking out material, insurance, manufacturing, van, everything. So it's easier for me because we're small. Obviously, again, I'm not doing multi-millions of dollars where California Closets, the local franchise does probably $2 to $3 million a month. I don't do that a year. So I'm at this point where I've grown my business to just under $1 million, but I need to get to the next step. And my next step I've handled the production and the installation part. I need to get salespeople. And what I learned is getting a salesperson is not easy because people can sell, but if they have to be able to ask for the sale and close the sale. What a lot of designers do is, a designer can't sell. They might be able to design a great closet, just graduated New York Design School, and it's great. I can design you a killer closet. It's going to look like it should be on Pinterest and Better Homes and Gardens, but they can't sell. They can't close the deal. So taking a salesperson and turning them into a closet designer is the way to go, as opposed to taking a designer and trying to turn them into a salesperson.
Oh man, you're speaking my language over here. How many people do you have on your team right now?
We have 4 employees and myself.
Gotcha. And do you do all the sales then? I mean, you go out and quote and do all of the
Right now,
process?
yeah, I have 1 or 2 people that happen to sell other things, and they'll sell kitchens or home renovations or whatever, and they'll offer closets as part of it. I do work for a decent amount of mid-sized to mid-sized high-end builders.
Interesting. Can I ask kind of what percentage of your business is working with builders versus just kind of consumers to get in touch with you guys?
I would say on a monetary scale, probably about 20% of our annual is builders. So builders tend to like us because of the quick aspect. You're building a house and the closets are always an afterthought. But what happens when you're building that? You're building somebody's dream house, especially here, on the New Jersey shore, wherever you're spending some big money. And 3/4 of the way through, the homeowner says to the builder, "Hey, you know what? I need a steam shower." So where do they steal the space for the steam shower? At the adjacent walk-in closet. So now all that stuff you ordered 4 months ago from California Closets has to be reordered. So the fact that they can call me a week before and say, "Hey, we changed the closet, this, that, and the other thing is a problem," we can just modify it here. And that's that. For that reason, builders love me, because you can kind of forget about me until I'm a necessary evil, and then we come in. And of course, well, it's expensive, but they go in those anyway. So.
Fantastic. And so, I mean, this isn't only closets and bedrooms. You guys also do pantries, laundry rooms, mud rooms. I mean, whatever needs that type of storage space, you guys are game for setting that up.
So the main aspect is bedroom closets. I mean, we do reach-in closets and walk-in closets, so that's our bread and butter. Then the next 2 biggest things are pantries and laundry rooms. But we do, mud rooms, and it all depends on the house. We have the ability to do it. We do, home offices. We do all that kind of stuff. The more intricate you get and the more custom stuff you need, the longer the time frame goes. So if I have to order in glass doors, or if I have to order in, we do a lot of stone tops, marble and granite and quartz. That could take a little bit longer, So we do have our quick install product, and that's why I say we can install you in as fast as 1 week after quote. We can install you as fast. Sometimes we've done $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 closets where we have to order in special glass doors, and we do a lot of stonework and that kind of stuff. So that would take 4 to 5 weeks for us, which is still lightning speed in this industry, whereas most people on a closet like that are going to be 4 to 6 months out.
Well, amazing time savings. So you guys have got amazing reviews. I'm going to take a look at your Google, business profile, also on Facebook. I mean, ultimately, it's amazing service is probably part of the answer to my question here. But I'm wondering, are there any other ways than just delivering on time? I mean, do you, we're always trying to help contractors kind of ask them to get more reviews and, to kind of get the word out there more for themselves and to kind of build their kind of local rankings by getting more reviews, honest reviews. I mean, do you tell your team, say, listen, when we get to the end of the job, love for you to bring back a review? Do they ask for that at all, or is it just totally organic?
So again, it's not organic. That's me, and it's part of me being, the proper way to build a business is to constantly be working on your business, not in your business. So I'm always working in my business. That's the problem. I mean, I've taken myself out of the day-to-day, physical stuff, but I'm the one. I touch base with every customer after a job. I'm like, "Hey, was everything good? Are you happy with the service? Or were the guys good?" And I get rave reviews because my guys are, beating over the head that, hey, you're my last contact with the customer. You kind of have to be nice. Number one. Number two, we take a 50% deposit when we're doing a job. We get paid in hand as we finish. So, you have to make sure everything's right. So people walk through, my guys walking through the closet, make sure they're happy. Then I touch base with them and I'll send them pictures that my guys take. Hey, here's your closet. Want to thank you again for your business. Hope you were happy. And they'll usually say, yeah, we're thrilled to death, blah, 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 blah. Your guys couldn't have been more professional. You've been great. I'm like, okay, good. Would you mind if I send you a link to Google? Can you leave me a review? And they're always like, oh, I'm happy to. And some people will wax poetic for, paragraph after paragraph of the reviews, and some people are just like 5 stars. This is great. 9 times out of 10, they mention me, which is great. It strokes my ego, but I need to be able to step back from that aspect and have a team on that. I do, like, I've been doing CRM stuff since before there were CRM programs, and I don't have a CRM program. I'm my own CRM. I send an email, hey, confirming your appointment with putting all their information and my information in there. Please respond so I know I got everything correct. I get that. I show up at the at the measure, and then I send them the proposal within a day or two, and they're like, just respond to this, make sure you got it, so it didn't end up in spam and you're hating me. And people appreciate that. So communication, that's the biggest problem contractors have, is lack of communication. People would rather you over communicate with them than not communicate at all. I get it all the time. I have contractors at my house, and I'm like, you told me you'd be there between 1 and 5. It's 3:30. I'm guessing the guy's going to be here by 5. I want to make sure I'm not waiting around for him. Sometimes you got to reach out. Some of these CRMs are great because they constantly keep you updated, and I see that happening more and more. But it's all about the communication. And me doing it organically without a CRM has been, interesting. So,
Adam is the CRM.
right.
I always worry about over communicating. I have to confess, with like our customers and things. I mean, that's just not an issue, right? I mean, you find that sending, texting, call, whatever needs to happen to keep people in the loop. You don't bug them with that. I mean, does that ever come up?
So I try not to. The last thing I say to somebody when I'm leaving their house after I measured, we talk about design ideas and everything. I say, look, when I send you the proposal, please respond to it, even before you open it up. Adam, got it, under review. I go, you'll never hear from me again unless you want to. You want to do this closet, you're going to find me. I get it. I'm not going to bother you. You don't have to duck me if you see me at the county fair. Hey, there's a guy I never got back to me. Or, hey, that guy never sent me a quote. I know you got the quote. I'm not going to bother you about it. And I tell people that, and it kind of disarms them a little bit. And again, my history of good reviews tends to, put people at ease. I've never had somebody say you talk too much. And I don't. I'm subtle with it. It's communication when communication is necessary. If my guys are running late, and sometimes we'll do multiple jobs a day, my guys are running late between job 1 and job 2, I'll text the customer, hey, guys are running a little bit late. They'll be there, 90 minutes later than I thought they would be. Just wanted to give you a heads up. People are usually thrilled to death. Everybody here is working from home, and they have 14 different phone calls and Zoom calls and everything going on. But they're just happy to know, okay, I don't have to keep, looking at my front door because the guys are coming to install the closet. I haven't had that issue, to answer your question. So.
Gotcha. Great advice. So, I mean, you guys are close to $1 million, looking at getting over that line here in the next year or so. Any direction you're going with that? Are you guys running some radio ads or doing any kind of outreach at all? Or?
So I've been pretty lucky. I've literally did almost $1 million the year before last without spending. I spent $5,000 in advertising. The year before, I did, again, I've grown every year since I've been in business, a little bit every year. Started from nothing and, doing just under $1 million. The key is what I need to do is to grow more. I need to get other people to go out and measure and sell. I can't keep doing this at this level. Sorry, hold on a second. Just got this. I know that's my next step. I'm on the board of the Independent Closet Owners Association, so I know all 3,500 independent closet companies in the country. I happen to, run a couple of things we have a yearly thing called the Closet Summit at the end of October, and I'll run some informational things for, new startups and for people that just don't know how to get there. Problem is I know how to get there. It's just changing the way I do things is my biggest problem. I'm my own worst enemy. I still do stuff on AutoCAD, which takes 3 times longer than it does in one of the closet design programs. When I have people that come work for me, I get them to teach, learn a closet design program. to me, it just bothers me. It's done the wrong way. I'm just used to the way I do
Gotcha.
things. So,
Sure.
I'm my own worst enemy. So, like I said, the next to get to where I need to be would be to hire more designers or salespeople.
Gotcha. Well, fantastic. Adam, great story. Super entertaining, man. It's fun talking with you. You guys doing it better, faster, and cheaper, right? And are able to
Don't say
get out
cheaper,
and
like
meet
say
the
less expensive.
okay, better, faster, less expensive. Are able to get in a fraction of the time as some of these, huge companies. And I mean, everybody knows. I mean, that's as as important, than the savings for a lot of people as the savings are, right? And so that speed of execution is amazing. I love that you guys are just staying right in what you do really, really well. You're clearly amazing at this point. Been doing this 26 years. Fantastic, Adam. Well, if folks are looking for a great closet company between New York and Philadelphia, well, let me ask you this: what's the radius that you work in?
So it's weird. We work really. You probably don't know New Jersey, but really central New Jersey and south. We try not to go north. North is just crazy. The traffic and the congestion just doesn't really help us with what we do. I mean, granted, North Jersey, California clients are doing, $2 to $3 million a month minimum. They've got it done. They've got 25 sets of installers out every day. And that's not my jam, so to speak. So based on what I do, we work central New Jersey, basically from the Hillsborough or just north of Princeton down south and towards the Jersey Shore. But we will occasionally go to Eastern Pennsylvania, like the New Hope area or Wrightstown, but that's pretty much it. So it's not
Gotcha.
really a radius.
Well, fantastic.
We try not to go north. That's what I was trying to get to. We'll go an hour and a half south, but when we go, 40 minutes north of where our shop is located.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, fantastic. Well, if you're between Hillsborough, south of the Jersey Shore, looking for a great closet manufacturer, get in touch with Adam. Adam, what's the best ways to get in touch with you guys?
Well, our website is helpmyclosets.com. That's easy to remember. Facebook/ISS Closets. That's where you can see. I do my Facebook every week, every Friday. There's a fresh picture of what we've installed. Usually, I won't go with like a pre-printed advertising thing when I do my Facebook posts, but I actually did last week. It's the first time I'm just trying out something new that I'm going to advertise in a local
Sure.
magazine. And then our 800 number, 800-585-1226. So.
All right, great. We'll get in touch with Adam. His website is helpmyclosets.com or Facebook/ISS Closets.
Correct.
Or 1-800-585-1226. Adam, thanks so much for being on the show today and sharing your wisdom.
Thanks.